Hello, welcome to Garden Chronicles. My name is James David, and in today's video I will talk about this particular types of tassel fern known as Huperzia species that I've actually found sold in the local nursery here in Sungai Buloh. This is very much more on the context of window shopping when I find that these new hybrids that is being introduced here in the market. However, I can say that some of them are actually not labeled, hence it could be of those that is newly introduced here in this plant market. However, I must say that some of them are actually new varieties and some are actually the common local varieties. Here I would like to show to you what is available currently now in this time period. As you know, most likely when it comes to tassel fern, there are unique features where it creates a fern-like cascading features, and here I've noticed that some of them are creatively fastened in this kind of context where cocoa chips is being used, and this particular one is being set in a board. So I've noticed that the newer ones appears to be far more creative and beautiful, and I find that in context of based on my experience, I believe these are hybrids which should have been introduced from Thailand. And I find that one of the things that I know that within 2 to 3 years time, newer breeds were actually introduced. If you look over here, it look very much like an umbrella shaped kind of lantern cascading thing, chain like plant, and it just amazes me because there are always something new when it comes to plants. And this particular one, it appears to be much more finer and thinner in comparison to the earlier one. If I'm not wrong, there are names to it, but I'm not indulging myself in searching and seeking out for their names and their ID, and I'm just going to make this particular video more on a visual display of what is being sold here and enjoy the view and just getting mesmerized by the appearance of the plant. One thing for sure, these are actually still in their premium prices. They are indeed expensive, and I'm not going to spend a lot of money buying it, and especially when my garden is tight for space. But however, if you are having the space and would you like to have a collection, do check it out in the Sungai Buloh nursery, these are actually available. Now, based on observation, I noticed that they are actually using Osmocot here as a fertilizer thing, and I actually had a very bad experience on this because I'm not sure exactly how much to use. And I think the element here is if the plant is acclimatized itself with the fertilizer, then there shouldn't be any problem. Over here you can see a landscape kind of a design used. If I'm not wrong, this is actually the Monstera Hei, which has been actually crawling over this stone slab. So it's kind of a unique features that I've noticed, that they all actually go very well with each other. I believe this is actually a water pond feature which there are aquatic plants around, and I believe that this actually aids the humidity factor for the Huperzia to grow. You can notice here that this shingling plant, this crawling features has been taken place, especially for this particular monster, and I find that this particular one can be challenging and a slow growing plant. However, I believe that it would have been introduced many years and finally it has found a perfect spot for it to grow lavishly. So coming back to Huperzia, is quite a beautiful plant, but I can see it's actually one plant cascading into a huge collection of stem. This is another type, squarrosa if I'm not wrong, squirrel tail Huperzia in a local name here. And I find that this one seems to be past its prime and sort of like, how do you say, not in their good prime condition. It could be because of the watering factor. They may not be well watered, and so some of the portion here is dried up. Do check it out on my care and how do I cultivate this type of tassel fern in my older videos, and you can see a lot of details and information based on this particular plant. However, this is just a very quick review on how it has been actually grown here. You can see a new shoot is taking place from the old collection, the old stack here. So I believe that these are actually expensive plants and they can be finicky, but in the right proper condition, these can actually grow very well. Another thing that I must mention is that these are actually very expensive plant and considered fall into the rare plant category here, and surprisingly I think the plant price collapse have taken place and everything is now dirt cheap, and I think it's a very good time to purchase them if you find that one or two of the strands may be dying, but they may actually give you an offer price. I believe the number 38 appears to be the price of the plant. Maybe I'm not sure, but the element here is that do check out for damage control. I think a lot of the fronds is actually dried up due to stress, so you may have to select properly, because for value for money you just don't want to find that a lot of it is actually dying and you're just buying it and you find that the plant is almost dead. So that's all for now for the review of these plants here, this Huperzia plants. If you have any questions, do put a comment below and I'll try my best to answer them based on my experience. If you can, please click like and subscribe my channel, and hope to hear from you soon. Have a nice day. Bye.